This conference will now be recorded.
So again, this is Charlie at S&S Solutions. Thank you for everyone joining today. Today we have the opportunity to review a product that we're excited about. It's our newest product that we are representing, Sterlite fiber optic cable. And today we have the pleasure of having Daniel Romer from Sterlite. He is the sales director at Sterlite Americas and is based out of Columbia, South Carolina. He's been working with Sterlite since about April of last year. And before joining Sterlite, he spent 6 years with Prysmian, where he held various positions in both the inside and outside sales. And so without further ado, I will turn it over to Daniel with the presentation.
Yes, Charlie, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for your time today. I know at the East Coast, where I'm located, it's now lunchtime, and the rest of the country is probably getting close to lunch and getting hungry. So let's keep this interactive. Let's keep it fun. If you have any questions, please interrupt me. I'll be more than happy to address any concerns or any questions and clarification. Originally, I'm from the Netherlands, so that's why my accent might be a little strange. And if you can't understand anything, please just ask for clarifications. So without further ado, let's talk some about Sterlite. Why are we here? What do we do? I'm going to address everything. We're going to first talk about a little bit of where we are today, where we came from, who we are as Sterlite, and then I'll dive some more into the products everybody wants to hear about here. So, of course, our goal as a global fiber and cable supplier is to transform the lives of the people that we work with and help bring reliable internet service to everybody worldwide. Sterlite is headquartered in India, in Mumbai to be precise. Here you can see some of the numbers, but more importantly, our footprint. As you can see here, we're global. In the US, we are headquartered here in Columbia, South Carolina, where I'm located. It's an office. We have our sales support, our technical support, inside sales. It's all done locally. The only thing we rely on India for today is our manufacturing. We have a fiber capacity of 50 million fiber kilometers and a cable capacity of 33 million, which puts us right at the top of the world's largest suppliers. We supply about 2/3 of our capacity in our home country of India, where we work with local telcos, the Navy, big rural broadband opportunities like we are seeing in the US and Canada today. And the other 2/3 are export, mostly towards Europe, the Oceanic region of Australia, and now also North America. We're very excited to be growing here. So a little bit more about what we do. Our core business is fiber, and we focus on 4 main segments: the telcos, the cloud companies. It's called within Sterlite Citizen Networks, but that's really rural broadband. India has some major projects and major rollouts going on right now. And then the large enterprises, which in our sense is the Navy and large defense contracts, large government contracts all over the world. We are more than your traditional cable supplier. Today, I'm going to mostly focus on the fiber and the cable, but I just want to introduce a little bit of what else we do. We have 4 big pillars: Opticon, which is the optical connectivity, which we classify as fiber and cable and connectivity. We also have a fiber deployment arm under Lead 360, and the other 3 pillars are mostly in India today, but I just want to show you what else the capacity is behind this company. It's network design and network rollout, and that is both on the design side, but also the contracting side back in India. We have an FTTX arm where we supply both passive and active components into the fiber to the home network. That is software, that's hardware, all of the above. And then network modernization is really working together with our partners to help future-proof the network, especially with all the 5G transformation going on and planning for the future. It's something we can help the partners with. But like I mentioned, today we're going to focus mostly on this pillar, which is the Opticon, which is going to cover our fiber and our cable. Any questions so far? If not, I'm going to continue on. Great. All right. So where did Sterlite come from? The company started 25 years ago as an optical fiber manufacturer in Aurangabad, India. Since then, we have expanded into China, where we have factories for preforms and glass. We have a factory in Brazil. And as of 2018, we also have a factory in Italy. Our supply into North America is going to come from our Indian facilities, which are the largest, the most modern, and the most process controlled. And all our products there are GR20 certified and GR20 compliant. So that's where we're looking at today. Again, the 4 pillars. We are completely vertically integrated as a company, which starts with the silicon mining, the glass preforms, of course, the fiber drawing, and then the making of the cable and some of the connectivity that's attached to it. Here above, you can see some of our factories. But the most important thing to take away from this slide is that every process is controlled in-house. Everything we have is compliant with North American standards, and we're not relying on any other suppliers for some of our raw materials. We have 7 large global production facilities. Most of them, like I said, are in India, and then Italy, Brazil, and China. And you can see some of the capacities here, which are quite impressive. So some of our fiber facilities here, Chandra, India, and Waluj are the largest ones, and the ones we'll be using our fiber for. I'm going to cover the fiber portfolio a little more specific, a little more in depth in a couple of minutes here, but just so you have an idea of the facilities. One thing I want to highlight, and this was something that wasn't known to me before I joined the company here in April. When people hear or at least sometimes, I don't want to speak for everybody, of course, but when people hear India cable and Southeast Asia, this gets lumped in with China. And the quality and the perceived low cost that Chinese manufacturers can supply. I've been very impressed with the drive to excellence and innovation within Sterlite. And I can tell you, and customers can testify to this, our reps can testify to this, this product is nothing like a cheap Asian product. The quality is first and foremost. It's all GR20 compliant, and it's really, when you splice our fiber to some of the Draka fiber, some of the Corning, or even OFS, it splices the same. There's really no loss effect, and you really will see no negative difference when using our products compared to something you use domestically. Then we have our cable facilities. Like I mentioned, the 33 million fiber kilometer capacity. We just went through phase 1 of a large capacity increase. We're working on phase 2, and the 33 is going to be turned up for us to be able to grow the way the market is growing. Because I don't need to tell anybody on this line, the market in North America is booming, and we want to be able to grow with that and help service everybody here with great lead times and good products. If you look at the space we play in, and with all 4 pillars I mentioned, it's not a surprise to see that we have solutions for everything. Today I'm going to focus mostly on the cable and the FTTH stuff, but if you want to talk to me offline or talk to any of our reps later about some of the 5G solutions or even the data center solutions, just know it's available. So now to get more into the products. Actually, before I do that, let me see if there's any questions so far. All right, I think it is a no. So let's talk about fiber for a second. Of course, everybody is familiar with the standard fiber grades starting at G652D, 657A1, A2, and B3. We have solutions in all 4 spaces, but the most important thing to remember, I think, is that our standard fiber for the US is this one here. It's the Sterlite Nova. The Sterlite Nova is our 657A1 that is backwards compatible to a 652D. So it splices into your existing network without any issues, no matter what fiber is in there. We have done extensive testing with all of the large North America fiber manufacturers. There have been no issues whatsoever on the splicing front as far as splice losses or compatibility with the mode field diameter. Everything is completely identical. Our A1 exceeds the GR20 spec or the ITUT G657 specs. It performs very good, and in both standard situations and stressful situations with the bending. Then another thing to highlight is our A2. For those who are not familiar, if this is your standard 657D fiber from any manufacturing, this is the allowed splice loss per kilometer. By going to an A1, you improve that 4 times. And by going to an A2, you improve that another 10x. So once we talk about 5G and some of the higher frequency wavelengths, this becomes a very important thing to think about with future-proofing your network. It's in most cases, well, I would say in all cases, much more cost efficient to put an A2 fiber in today rather than upgrade all your active components later on when you need the additional speed and lower losses. One of our fibers I want to highlight is called Stellar fiber. It's an A2 grade fiber, but, and I'm not going to get super technical here, but for some of you who know already, A2 fiber has a different mode field diameter than a standard 652D fiber. It's a little smaller, which means when you go to splice it, there's some incompatibilities. And you're going to see gainers on one end when you OTDR it and losers on the other, which then you have to average out to get your true splice loss. Long story short, what we have done is we've taken our A2 fiber, we have been able to match the mode field diameter to the standard 9.1 micron that a 652D and a 657A1 has. So this fiber gives you the bend performance of an A2 at the, let's say, operational performance of an A1 or 652D. So you can use this fiber in your existing networks without any changes to your splice machines, without any changes in practices to how you measure your loss. And it's a great solution to future-proofing your network or when you are in these environments where you need the bend performance of an A2. I just want to highlight that this is available today. So if this is of interest, please let me know. Then talking about the cables. We offer any design that you might get currently domestically, from micro cable, and this is a standard loose tube, to a regular loose tube. So this is a version with 2 millimeter buffer tubes. This is your standard 2.5 millimeter buffer tubes. Central core ribbon. What we have done, rather than have a full portfolio in both ribbon designs, we have a central tube up to 144, all with 12 fiber ribbons, so there's no ribbon splitting. And above that, we go to a multi-tube stranded design, also with 12 fiber ribbons, so you never have to split anything. And this is your most cost-efficient and easiest to use solution. Drop cable, flat and round, tonable, non-tonable, figure 8 if necessary. Microduct cables, any ADSS, and a retractable is a very specialized solution, so I'm not going to get into that today. But if somebody knows what it is or is interested, we can talk about this too. The good news for all of these cables are that today our lead times are 14 to 16 weeks. Most of that lead time is ocean freight. There's a lot of complications today with international trade, a lot of logistic issues. So most of our lead time is in that ocean freight actually. But our production lead times are among our, I would say, the best in the industry today, and we are working hard to keep it that way. What we want to do is be there for you. Our plan is to have stock on the ground in the US here in the next couple of months. And if I do my job correctly, I'm not going to run out of that stock anytime soon, and we're able to service you guys with very attractive lead times, much better than anything out there in the market today. So I do want to talk about our history here with Sterlite. We have tried to enter the US market. This is the 3rd time. And I'm sure somebody on this call has been familiar with it or has heard that Sterlite products are bad. When I was at Prismian, I was one of those people that shared that message that you don't want anything out of Asia, that you want the US made quality. But of course, now that I'm on this side, I know a little bit more and I want to share some of this with you. In the past, there have been many issues, and I just want to address them head on. The Sterlite cable had stiff buffer tubes made with PBT material. There was a thicker jacket that made it harder to access the cable and get to the tubes. Printing would fade. fibers would lose their colors, which of course is a nightmare once you go to splice and you don't know which fiber you're splicing. The armor was bonded to the jacket, which means that it was glued to it, which made it even harder to get into the cable. So today we are so far away from this product, and I'll be more than happy to send samples to whoever needs it to prove this, that it's not even comparable. So the new STL, all our cables, 100% GR20 compliant. We started with the North American spec and made sure that everything in our portfolio complied to that. So from your point of view, you don't have to lose any sort of quality when you use our product. Our buffer tubes are now made with polypropylene instead of PVT, which is much more flexible and is what the domestic suppliers use. The tubes are easier to access because the jackets are thinner and easy to cut through. We have 100% dry and we have gel-filled buffer tube configurations, whatever you prefer. I know there's a lot of difference based on your geography of what people like to use. We have both. Our armor is now unbonded to the jacket, which means that it peels off very easy and really helps mid-spanning. And then, of course, the A1 fiber is our standard offering into the US, which means that for the same price you would offer you a 652D fiber, you now get a better fiber. To put this all in a visual, this is just some cutouts of our armored loose tube cable. As you can see, it's the same kind of design you're used to. It's reverse oscillated buffer tubes in a single layer, a double layer, or even a triple layer for an 864. We go up to 864 for these ones. But the most important thing, again, is a standard fiber, the ease of installation, the ease of getting to the armor if you need to ground it, and the handling of the cable. Again, more than happy to send samples to anybody who wants to see this with their own eyes, who wants to splice some of the fiber, who wants to open it and just get that feel, because I can tell you this 20 times, I think until you get the cable in your hands and you can see that what I'm saying is true, it'll definitely help. One more cable family I just want to talk about, but not waste a whole lot of time on, is our IBR, intermittently bonded ribbon. You know this as spiderweb ribbon today from AFL, rollable ribbon from OFS, flex ribbon from Prysmian. It's just the next generation of high density ribbon cables. Today we have a 6912 version that we supply into the market, and very soon here we'll have a portfolio going down to 7028, 3456, actually in between there, 432, and even below that. We do today have a Microduct cable that uses the IBR solution. It's blowable, obviously, because it's a Microduct, but we have it in a 288 and a 432 version. I don't have the pictures of that here, but know that it is available, and it's just bring you that higher fiber density at those fiber counts. I do want to highlight our standard loose tube Microduct here for a second. It's a very popular design in the market. Of course, you save a lot of money in space, and with our space constraints, this can certainly help you. We go up to a 576 in this design, but the 432 has an OD of 8.8 millimeters, which by far is the smallest in the market. So it allows you to use a 1613 Microduct, or even a 1612. It really enhances your fiber density. So this is a great product for those niche markets where you need to save some space. Here you can see some of our other diameters. In cases of interest, the 576 comes in at 10.4, which again is the smallest available today. Some of the blowing performances, which gets really important once you put the stuff in and you're worried about your operational budget. We've done some trials with Duraline. We have two separate jackets, a standard one in the blue and a higher performance jacket in the red. That's called a nylon jacket, but that blew almost up to 2 kilometers, which is very impressive for the duck guys, and they were very happy with. Before I get into my next section, are there any questions so far? All right. The next thing I want to highlight, which I also think sets us apart, especially from some of the Chinese manufacturers, but even more than I've seen my domestic counterparts do in the US, is our care for cultural social responsibility, CSR, and some of the environmental impact. It's a very high focus of our chairman. A lot of funds go towards charities. And the one thing I want to highlight is we have the world's first zero waste to landfill certification for all 3 of our large factories in India. It's something we're focusing on. We think it's important. When you connect the world, you don't want to pollute the world anymore. So it's just something that we are very proud of and we very highlight. So my final slide, and I'm going to give you guys some time back for questions, and don't want anybody too long, but why go with Sterlite, STL, Sterlite? Our value proposition. We have a long-standing history in the industry. Today, we are so focused on innovation and technological superiority that we want to bring cost-effective solutions to you in a timely manner that are going to withstand the test of time. Nobody wants to build a network today that they're going to have to replace in 3 years. So our cable lasts 25 years at least. There's no concerns on the quality. And again, samples are available if necessary. So that's a big part of our value prop here. We have a lot of expertise in the integration of large-scale networks. We have done this in India for over 15 plus years. We can bring that here, especially with RDOF. I know there's a lot of people starting to dabble into broadband where that hasn't always happened. We are here for you to lean on. Please ask us for creative solutions, share your problems with us. We are more than happy to work together with you towards solutions that work for everybody. This is the last, or this point is more on our 5G side, which we didn't cover today, but we are working very hard with some of the world's largest and most disruptive suppliers in this space, or end users in the space, to come up with creative solutions on cloud computing, edge networking, everything that comes with the 5G point. That's all new to everybody. So that's a big focus of us in years to come as well. And then, like I mentioned, the quality is key for us. We don't want to send you a cheap product that's going to help you now in a sold out market, but it's going to create issues 3 years down the line. We stand behind our products and we put our money where our mouth is, so to speak. And then, of course, last but not least, in the sold out market, where with COVID, it's been more or very clear that connectivity is everything. We are here to help your end users. This is my contact information, my cell phone, my email. Reach out to me directly if you have questions. Reach out to Charlie and the team if you have any questions. They have everything. They have access to me. I want to thank you for your time today. I know everybody's very busy, so it's very, very valuable for you to spend this 30 minutes with me. And if there's any questions right now, please feel free to ask me.
Are lead times consistent at 14 to 16 weeks across all products?
14 to 16 weeks is the worst case scenario, and that's really the loose tube today. Drop is probably more around 12 weeks, and ADSS I've seen in the range of 10 to 12 today.
Great, thank you.
Of course. I did forget to mention on the ADSS specifically, we can go up to span lengths of 1,500 feet, single jacket, double jacket, any weather loads. So we can match any spec you have today. The hardware is key there, I know. So if you have any requests for quotes and you're tied to a certain hardware, please let us know that OD. I have seen some of our ODs for the cables come out smaller than some of the domestic options, which is not always good if you're trying to match hardware. So if you have an OD requirement, let us know and we'll make sure it matches.
Daniel, this is John from SNS. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
These slides you presented, are those available on your website that we can download those and use them for presentations ourselves?
No, they're not, but I'll be happy to share them with you and Charlie. If you guys, any of the other people on the line want them, reach out to Charlie. He can share these.
Okay,
our
great.
Website, let me address that too now that you brought it up, John. Thank you. You can go to the website and you can find a catalog. I have no control over the website. I don't know when the catalog was from. So please don't rely on that. It's not going to be the latest information. Any spec sheet you might need, reach out to me, reach out to Charlie. We'll make sure you get the latest and most accurate ones.
Thanks, Daniel.
Yep, thank you. You guys are going easy on me today. No hard-hitting questions yet.
I got Daniel, this is Charlie. I got a question that came in where somebody said, I think someone told me the glass during splicing was able to adapt to other size glass fibers regardless of size. Is that correct?
There it is. That sounds futuristic to me, and no. The core of the glass is not adaptable. I've not heard of that anywhere, but I think what it might refer to is that stellar fiber, where our mode field diameter, which is key when you go to splice, matches the standard fiber mode field diameter. I think that might be what they're getting at, but if you're looking for a fiber that you can change the size on, no, that's not it. The size is what the size is. We do have 250 micron glass. We have 200 micron glass. So the 200 micron really comes into play when you talk about some of those high fiber count cables, and this helps you with space savings. That's really all I got on the fiber size.
Is there any final questions for Daniel at this time? Doesn't look like I see anything popping up. So thank you. Thank you, Daniel, for your presentation. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Again, we will send out a link to this recording. Also, we'll also put Daniel's information along with our information for your respective areas. If you have any questions, need samples, specs, or pricing, we're here to help. And if there's just any general questions, please do not hesitate in reaching out to us or Daniel to answer those questions. So if that is it, we will go ahead and end today. Again, I thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everybody.